I would like to thank the College of Design and Engineering for their kind invitation and support. I'm deeply honored and humbled by this invitation. I would also like to thank the moderator of this session, Professor Raymond. The topic of my presentation is NUS CEE, Paving the Road to the Future. Once again, I'm Dr. Ajay, lecturer at TU Delft. I did my undergraduate in India and my PhD at NUS Singapore. During my PhD, I got a wonderful opportunity at the world's best airport, Changi Airports International. And after my PhD, I was working as a postdoc for 1 year at NUS Environmental Research Institute. And after that, I joined TU Delft as a lecturer. Major motivation of my PhD work is to reduce the road accidents. Do you know for every 24 seconds, someone dies on the road? And we as road engineers or pavement engineers are also responsible for these accidents. And how to reduce them? We are trying to find the solutions. And one good solution is the porous pavements, which Netherlands has been using it for the past 20 years. My PhD is in fact related to the drainage capacity and frictional stability of pervious pavements. This work was given a Best Paper Award for methodological development in Japan. Well, they asked it to show the novelty. We were the first one to model the non-Darcy permeability instead of when the whole world is looking only at the Darcy's permeability. We were the first one to investigate the effect of thresholding algorithms on permeability and skid resistance. We proposed a new algorithm. We found a practical relevance. We identified and quantified the error in numerous research publications, more than 100, not just in pavement engineering or civil engineering, but mainly in porous media research. We identified and proved the existence of a huge challenge in XRCT-based modeling. Our work was presented in multiple countries all around the world, in US, Switzerland, South Africa, and many countries in Asia. Well, my teaching interest spans wide width, ranging from transportation engineering, finite element analysis, environmental assessment, image processing, and research ethics and methodology. This picture is here is my first mini lecture I delivered at TU Delft. One PhD student took this picture and he sent it to me. Now I'm embarking on a newer journey or the newer challenge. How to improve the teaching and how to engage the next generation students. How to motivate the digital generation. There are numerous challenges in engaging the students in the lectures. And how to create an inclusive environment for the diverse students coming from different backgrounds, different skill sets, different mindsets. Netherlands conducted a wonderful study on the relation between teaching quality and the research quality. And the results are interesting. During our PhD, we will be mainly doing improving our research qualities. As a lecturer, I'm trying to improve my teaching quality at this point of time. Here is my team at TU Delft. They have been very supportive and kind in all my endeavors. They even invited me to a PhD defense ceremony as a paranum. Well, the topic of today's presentation is transform your career. So what is your career? You have like 40 to 48 years of life waiting for you, and how to transform these years into a productive and as happy as as possible. Since you are all here, you had already convinced that you want to do your PhD at NUS in civil engineering. Well, you all know the ranking of the university. This itself is a clear validation, like why you should choose NUS and civil engineering. NUS is ranked at number 11 in all the universities around the globe, and in civil engineering, it is ranked at number 3, right after MIT and TU Delft. So I'm going to share some thoughts apart from the ranking, apart from the online stuff. What makes NUS special? What NUS can give you? Number 1, funding. There is a huge amount of funding in Singapore and at NUS. Professors and postdocs are working very hard in securing the funding for your research and for your life at Singapore. The second advantage is the shorter time period. If you are exceptionally good in your bachelor's and if you show a research potential, you can skip your master's. This way, you can save 2 years. And during your PhD, you are strongly encouraged to submit your thesis in 4 years. This way, again, you can save 2 more years. In other countries, you have to finish. You are bound to finish your PhD in 6 or 7 years. And this is the better opportunity to save a lot of time. Many people were asking me, how did I get my PhD at the age of 25? The answer is very simple, it's NUS. There are many other factors which you may be well aware of: conferences, quality of the work, support, world-class professors and research. I think I don't have to explain these 4 points. I'll get back to the quality in quite some time. Yes, next one is like, since it is about the career, you need to understand the global challenges faced in academia in all the universities from MIT, Stanford, all Ivy Leagues, TU Delft, and NUS. There is a very little job market in academia. The number of job openings are getting less compared to the number of PhDs awarded. So if you want to find a job in academia, you have to be unique. And NUS is teaching us a lot of strategies in finding a job. Let's look at the statistics. If you go back 120 years, the number of papers published were just like 1,000 to 2,000. Now it's almost 1 million, and still it's increasing. How do you make your paper or work unique when there are so many publications made every year? Number 1 solution, or the strategy which NUS follows, is sticking to the waves of innovation. If you look at the trend, for every few decades or every few years, some new topic will emerge. It will stabilize, then it will slowly die. It's common in all the fields. So what NUS does is like, you will stay into the waves of innovation. If a field is dying, you will not be encouraged to do your work in that field. That's why you can find many papers in autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles, COVID research in my lab. Number 2, it's the high quality. What do you mean by high quality? Well, there are many definitions for this term. Here at NUS, you will not be encouraged to do incremental work. You won't be writing paper just for the sake of writing. You will be strongly encouraged to do breakthrough research or high impact research. But this will need a lot of patience from your side and from the supervisor's side. This is again like a high risk and high reward. And one common mistake everyone does is the comparison. You shouldn't compare with any of your friends or your lab mates, your seniors, or the other students from different universities. This will kill your curiosity and kill your joy during your research journey. And whatever examples I'm showing, it's just I'm also just an example among lot of successful students. So Kindly do not make any comparisons. Yes. Next solution or the strategy which NUS teaches is the practice. Look at these two axes. Horizontal axis is the impact on practice, and the vertical axis is the impact on science. Look at the vertical one. If the science is not fancy, students will not do the work. They will look for different projects or different professors, different universities. So science has to be fancy enough. And on practice, if look at the practice side, if it is not applicable, if it doesn't have any impact on practice, professors are not interested. They will not do that project, or they will not get funding for that project. So the challenge is to bridge these two gaps. Here the numbers 1, 2, and 3, 4 represents my contributions in my thesis. Initially, I started with more science and reduced my science and become like more practical. And chapter 4 is lying like a little bit ahead. It will take like at least 10, 20 years to be, it was a bit ambitious, 10, 20 years to be fully implemented in the practice. And F represents some of my failures during my PhD. Earlier, I used to see those as failures. Now F stands for funding. Next, the fourth solution is the awards. NUS gives high preference to the awards rather than the papers, number of papers, or the number of citations. These are all the awards which NUS Transport Lab obtained in the past 30 years. And each award is from one of my seniors, and the top one is my recent award at 2021. And the common line which you will hear at NUS is like, before you write, think whether is it really needed or not. Number 5, NUS will teach you how to write the grants and how to get the grants. There are a lot of strategies. It's a totally different game compared to the papers. And what NUS did is like they will help you step by step. You will be initially helping the professors in making a small contribution to the proposals, and slowly you will be working more and more. Yes. Now I have to mention something about Parkinson's law. Many people have a wrong assumption that since you're finishing your PhD in 4 years, quality of the work is compromised. No, that's a crude assumption, I would say. You have to put more effort to achieve the better results in lesser amount of time. So in 4 years, you will be working hard more than ever before. Yes, I already mentioned a little bit about the job market in academia. So that's why NUS is making a very good program, very good initiative. They call it as GRIP, Graduate Research Innovation Program. In this, NUS will help you to open up startups, open up companies by giving you some seed funding. I think around like 100,000 Singapore dollars. You can work on your company or the startup while doing your PhD research as well. There is a statistics which says like more PhD students are just interested in joining a startup rather than founding a one. Well, this needs to be disproved. I hope to see some of my students or my juniors would take up this initiative and change the statistics. Yes. Whatever knowledge which I shared with you, whatever the solutions or the strategies followed at NUS I shared, is just tip of the iceberg. There are so much content you need to learn and understand. And I think I don't have enough time to explain my 4 years of my time in just 10 to 20 minutes. So I can clearly say NUS is not preparing you just for the graduation day, just for the time when you are being awarded, but it prepares you for your lifetime, for your career, for the next 40 years. If you would like to know more about my work, you can check out my YouTube channel. I gave a very similar invited talk last year, advice for the PhD aspirants. You can check that out. Finally, I would conclude my presentation by sharing a short story from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you think the captain, Jack Sparrow, plans everything out, or he just makes it up as he goes along the waves? The answer is both. He plans something and makes it up as wind chooses something. Thank you.